Hello everyone, this is Tracy Zhang for EDU518 with my final unit presentation. I wanted to show you my homepage for our Waynesburg University EDU518 final unit. First of all, I was pretty excited because I found a biology template that has kind of cool DNA and biology things in the background, and I changed the color because I really don't like brown that much. So, with that in mind, we'll start off here. I left some tools on the home page. I like seeing my announcements right at the very start of things so that any announcements the student receives can be seen right away. It also has the typical what's new and alerts and those sorts of tools. The tools that I left in the left taskbar are Homepage, Course Introduction, Lessons, Our Conversations, Tools, the Lab Wiki, Journals, Help for BlackBoard, of course, and I left a little information about my instructor down there in case they can't find it elsewhere in the course. So for Course Introduction, which is the first unit, I included several components. A welcome and hello, of course. I did a little video called Meet Dr. Zhang, so it's a short little 5-minute video that talks about my background, my family, my pets, and a little bit about why I love to teach. I put my contact information in there, and I also put a communications and help chart in here. This will help students if they're having a problem with anything. They can go to this mind map or communications chart and go through if there are problems with a course, with Blackboard, or with the computer or internet, and that kind of guides them through, hopefully, to the no worries box. And I have the course objectives listed in here. In our paper, Terry, you had two sets of objectives, the state objectives and the Common Core standards. I did not include two sets because last year West Virginia mandated that teachers in science and social studies use the Common Core objectives. They have not been approved with final approval yet. They have provisional approval, and they're posted online at the moment through September or October, I think, for teachers and students and parents to go in and comment so that they can make any kind of final tweaking that they might need. So with that in mind, the objectives are the same, and therefore I just used one set of objectives. So my first unit is this course introduction, and my second unit is the scientific method and nature of science. So the objectives are for the student to demonstrate the ability to use the inquiry process to solve problems and relate science, technology, societal issues while using a variety of sources to construct and defend solutions. And I'm going to have the students demonstrate their understanding of the steps of the scientific method by evaluating the scientific method used in either Science Buddy's website or the Google Science Fair websites. They will be working in an interactive group project for 2 weeks at least, and they will use the actual judging rubrics for the science fair to evaluate these science projects, and part of that will be identifying the parts of the scientific method and evaluating their effectiveness. So another objective is to evaluate the claims, evidence, and reasoning, the interactions of ecosystems, and then this goes through the rest of the units for the entire course. I'm not going to read all of those to you. So basic course information is in there, and I'll go into that folder in a minute. I also did an Intro to Biology course tour video where I take the student through each of the different parts of the course and show them where things are. I also show them how to post a discussion board thread in that video. I have an online learning must-reads where I have minimum technology requirements and some online learning tips and advice from a high school student, so that should be a little bit more appealing. And then I have a little neat activity where they go to the Linode post-it board and post what they know about science or how they feel about science and or upcoming biology. And then I have a video on 5 new discoveries in 2014, which is pretty cool. This is very cool stuff they're doing. And as a result of all of that, we're going to have some interactive introductions so that students can get to know each other in the course. This is the first assignment in the course. And I named the discussion board Our Conversations because I like that. But at the same time, I'm not sure that they're going to be used to that term if they've done online learning before. And so I'm going to use both terms every time I talk about it just to get them used to that. There are 3 parts to this discussion board posting. First, the student needs to tell us about themselves. Then I ask them to post a picture of what animal they see themselves as and post a link to the picture and then explain why they picked that photograph. Then post a short paragraph about a recent or interesting fun science discovery that they found online. What do they like, etc.? How could it be used? And then, of course, to respond to 2 other students. You'll notice that after many of the lesson sections I have the phrase to do and then a little blip highlighted in yellow highlighter. And this tells them that they have something to do. So for example, for basic course information, they are to send an email to me telling me that they and their parent and guardian have read and understand the syllabus. And I have both the student and the parent must sign this with the digital signature. As we go into the basic course information, I used your idea, which I thought was really cool. And I found this great picture, really vibrant colors that I used for the course dates, times, prerequisites, course descriptions. And I put a link to the syllabus in here. And this is a very typical syllabus that has required information. And then they are assigned a syllabus acknowledgement, as I mentioned in the earlier blip. That's a common thing that we have to do, and even my 7th grader has to do that, so I decided to incorporate that. I included rubrics, grading rubrics in this section. So here they're to look at it. This is the discussion board or Our Conversation grading rubric. And then we also have a grading rubric for the science fair project, which is the project for the first 2 weeks of class. I didn't want to have a grading rubric that was generic for every project because they may be very different as we progress through the course. And then I put a link in here also to the actual science fair project rubrics. So there's a link to Science Buddies and a link to the Google Science Fair grading rubrics that they're going to be working with. So I think that pretty much covers the first unit section. I tried to include interactive activities and teacher presence. So to that end, I, of course, will send them a letter, a parent letter, at the very beginning, probably 2 weeks beforehand if I can, and introduce myself and a little bit about the course. Then I'll be sending emails and announcements beforehand to help get to know them. The social presence is also included in addition to the letter and announcement and emails through the video biography that I posted. Intellectual presence is noted on the discussion board. I plan to be present on the discussion board early and often, and then I'll use written feedback and possibly some audio or video feedback. And we're also going to have a couple of collaborative sessions. I'm going to have one the first week so that I can make sure all the students can get online and get in to collaborate, and we'll talk about any questions they have about their science fair projects and their discussion board assignment and group assignment. Then I'll also show them how to get into the lab wikis, because I set it up so that each group can go into a shared wiki and work on it together as they collaborate on their various projects throughout the semester. Instructional Presence is generated by teacher-generated videos. There are several video screencasts that I put in there. One of the beginning course icebreaker things that I did for the second half was a voice thread where they talk about what they where they live and science around the world. So the voice thread, the voice thread was in the first unit. It's really late. In the second unit, where we talk about the science fair projects in a lot more detail, we did science around the world, so they post where they are in the world, and then later I'll have them go in and post where their science project is from after they finish their presentations. I did a chroma key video for our intro to biology where I connect the scientific method and their science fair projects. So we already learned about the scientific method per se, now we want to talk about how it connects and how they'll be using it. So with this I had a slide presentation, and so I used the chroma key like weathermen do and put myself in that video. So that shows you some of the video podcasts that I put in here, and here's the discussion board assignment, which is the same one we saw earlier in the course. I included the project rubric here, and we also have a science method quiz included with this lesson. This is a scientific method quiz that goes through both of these lessons that are part of Unit 1. So it's for a unit quiz. And then I put in this collaborate link as well, just in case they have a hard time finding that. So that's my units. Hopefully I've covered everything. Let me see if there's anything else that we need to talk about. I showed you my objectives, the content standards, and I will be sending you the draft that talks about the lessons as well. This is Tracy Zhang signing off. Good night all.